Hi, and welcome to Rise and Shine, Creating 2020 Vision. Today is day 21 of our series and day 1 of our emotions conversations. And today I have with me Kara Barrie. Welcome, Kara.
That's so great. Thank you for having me, Kim. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to have her here today because Kara is known as the Dolphin Messenger. And I want to go ahead and share with you just a little bit more about her. We're keeping these bios always really brief here, but let me just share a little bit more. So Kara Barrie is the Dolphin Messenger. She's a channeler and spiritual hand holder. The overall message she brings forth through her insightful channeling is one of birthing unity. And you can connect with her inside her Facebook group at the Facebook group is called The Dolphin Messenger. So facebook.com/groups/The Dolphin Messenger. Definitely check her out. And hello to all of our live and replay viewers as well. Let us know where you're connecting from. And of course, if you have any questions as we go throughout today's conversation. Kara, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for that wonderful bio. I feel like I need you to just announce me when I go places. Because I enter a room and it's Kara Barrie.
I would be happy to. I love doing stuff like that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm really good, and I'm so excited to be here and be with everyone watching. So thank you. This is a real honor for me because I'm normally on the other side of the camera watching and commenting and getting involved and loving the conversation. So this is fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And we do have a lot of awesome people here with us. So hello, just a quick hello to Suli, Angie, Paula, Joanne. Oh my goodness, all of you guys are here. Carol is with us from Canada. So cool.
Amazing.
Well, Kara, so I know a lot of our friends are with us today and they know who you are and what you do. But for all those who are just getting to learn about you, will you share with everyone just a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so yes, I'm Kara Barrie, and I live in Scotland in the UK. And I've been on a bit of a journey, a bit of a spiritual journey, shall we say. And I have recently became a channeler, and as part of that, I channel the dolphins and other beings of light. And it's work that I feel so blessed to do. I'm also qualified in a number of holistic and healing therapies like EFT and kinetic shift and Ho'oponopono. So I have a strong background in a lot of the more holistic and alternative kind of avenues as well. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, really.
Well, and even though Kara is new to channeling, she's fantastic at it. So definitely, Kara, I've just seen how you've shared messages and the progression of the messages that are flowing through and the depth of them. And it's really wonderful. So we actually had Kara inside the Every Day is a New Day group last month, and she did a live channeling for us. And we're going to be doing one again very soon. Yes. I'm sorry, what was that?
It's just exciting to be able to do it again. Yeah, share with everyone.
It definitely, it is so fun. So I'll be sharing a link to that in the comments as we get further into the show. But Kara, let's talk about emotions.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Huge.
It is huge. It is huge. And I know as Kara and I were getting ready, for this, we touched base a few times, and I was able to share with her, I have some of the same experiences that you have in terms of having to learn how to really tune in and allow myself to feel emotions and things like that, and how important that's been. Do you want to share a little bit about your experience with that?
Yes, of course. So for me, if you don't mind, I'm going to take it back just a little bit. Maybe about sort of 7 years ago when I was pregnant with my first child, and I didn't know it then, but I was showing signs of being prenatally depressed and then subsequently postnatally depressed. But it wasn't really diagnosed, or it wasn't really such an issue for me until I had my second child. So I went through a really tumultuous time with just my emotions and being all over the place and really kind of not knowing who I was anymore. And what's wonderful about that whole experience was that it birthed this whole spiritual awakening, which is what I'm so forever grateful for, because I really feel like I found my thing. Like I never had hobbies or anything really that grabbed me. This
Okay.
grabs me. So it was a blessing in disguise. It really was. But for me, yeah, it's been such a journey with my emotions, because I've really had to go from a place of, to be quite frank with you, Kim, going from a place of really feeling like I didn't want to be here anymore. And when you're in that really dark place, it feels like you don't really have anywhere else to go. But I was so blessed that I began to tap into my energy, and that's when I began to see things and hear things. My clairaudience and my clairsentience and all of that fun stuff. And that really shifted me. But what it also did was make me extremely aware, extremely conscious, and I could see how I was making choices in every now moment, about how I was reacting and responding to the emotions that I was feeling. And I think that we kind of tend to demonize the lower emotions, don't we? Because they're so uncomfortable. They
Right.
really are. They are.
No one wants
Um,
to feel uncomfortable
no,
and right.
No, they
Yeah.
don't. And in a lot of ways, we're not taught this stuff, are we? We're not taught. And wouldn't be that, what kind of world would that be if we were all taught about how to manage these emotions and deal with them? So I feel like in that period of my life, I really demonized all of the emotions and thoughts that I was having. And I felt like it made me a bad person, a bad mother, you name it. When actually it was really just I think it was my body just crying out and saying, this is all this stuff for you to look at. These are all of the emotions that you need to witness, and you need to witness them and accept them and love them and bless them and let them go and let them move through you. So that was really kind of I would say it wasn't learning, it was almost like unbecoming or
Okay.
unschooling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge for me. And I think that as a child, I was labeled a little bit as being emotionally immature, because I don't think I had a lot of resilience, so to
Okay.
speak, because I felt so deeply, Kim, and I was sensitive, and that can be labeled as a bad thing, because you're not tough enough, you're not, things
Yeah.
affect you too much. And I can see now, looking back, that I was actually emotionally very mature, because I was so deeply connected with who I am, and that all of these emotions that I was experiencing were a lesson or a guide, you
Right.
know. Um,
I love Kara. Kara, I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to just say I love what you're sharing, because I think this is really a great starter conversation for this whole emotions theme that we're doing. We're talking about emotions and how they support you in moving closer to your vision, and how, I was even just reading again in one of my Abraham Hicks books about, that contrast, everything we feel that doesn't feel good, right? Helps us get to that clarity. When you know what you don't want, that helps you get to what you do want. And you're talking about something that I know a lot of people can either relate to from a prior time in their life, and some people right now at this point in time. And what a beautiful story to be able to hear that you actually, birthed so much from something that sounds so painful and uncomfortable. And so I think that's the next question is, what you just kind of, you briefly touched on it. Like, do you recall, like, what helped you get into that space where you allowed yourself to feel the emotions and flow with them more so you could expand into what you're doing today?
I think it was due to a lot of stuffing down emotions, and eventually you do that so much that you just can't do that anymore, and it does have to come out. And I think with a lot of the spiritual work that I was doing, and the things I was reading, and the things I was watching online, and the people that were resonating for me, and great teachers like Esther Hicks, showing up in my reality, and all of these people. And I learned that I really had to witness them, and I had to allow for them, because resistance and it creates the persistence of the feelings and the emotions, and they just keep coming back. And also having the awareness that there's a mirror there for you. And so,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so really it's an opportunity to look within your own self. I know one of the tools that I did use a lot, and I always go back to it because it's one of my favorites, but I do use Ho'oponopono, which is the fourth phrase is to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, just to kind of help you transmute the energy. For me, I feel like it gives my power back in each moment. So if I feel like I'm losing it, you know,
Uh-huh.
um, I can breathe into that space, and I can say, okay, I'm witnessing myself right now getting angry, and I'm just going to breathe, and I'm going to allow for it, and I'm going to just breathe light into my body. And I know that in this moment I have a choice. I can come from fear, or I can come from love. I can be reactive,
Yes.
or I can just sit internally and connect to what's true in my heart. And it's been a very conscious journey, and I in a lot of ways I've had to work at it, because I've had to really be on it to silence the inner critic.
Right. Well, and making that connection. I was actually just going to point that out. You did such a fantastic job of being conscious of this is what I'm feeling, and I'm going to allow it and consciously choose. Like you know that in the allowing, you're opening space for something else.
Yes.
And that's the part where I see, like it's the releasing of the fear. Instead of saying, oh, if I allow this, then I'm locked into it. It's you allow it so it can flow on
Yeah.
out. And then, yeah.
Yeah, that's where like the magic happens, doesn't it? That's where we're like alchemists, because we get to just transform it and shift it, and it's fabulous, and it's so interesting how quick it can move as well. It can it can really move fast, and if you're like, oh my god, I'm having like the best day ever, just because you've allowed it,
Right.
rather than stuffing it down. And it's so easy to stuff it down and numb ourselves with TV or food or even our phones. I'm guilty of that too, scrolling on my phone. I can to kind of numb myself from this thing in the back of my mind that I'm kind of not wanting to pay attention to. So we all do it, but it's just making those conscious choices, really.
Uh,
And yeah, on you go.
oh, I love chatting with Kara, by the way. Kara, you're so fun. Okay. Yeah, no, just everything you just said. I don't know. I kind of lost the thought that was coming to mind there. So it's all good. But let's take a quick look at our live audience with us. We have Nori from Florida, Suli from the UK, Sherry is saying hello, and Carol is saying, we'll get to this in a moment. Carol is saying, oh, my favorite animal, dolphins, love, love. And let's see what we have here from Suli. Suli is saying, oh gosh, I resonate with that, Kara. Yes, there's definitely a misunderstanding regarding the strength of those who are sensitive. And I completely agree. I really love that you actually brought that up, Kara. Gosh, that could be a whole other conversation right there. Yeah, what I have come to learn through my own journey is that our emotions are very possibly the most intelligent aspect of who we are. And the more that we can be in tune with that and really understand that they're information, they're not something for us to, I mean, I love that you speak to everyone's experience, right? We all know like, oh, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel that. And it's okay to be in that space. And if you can get yourself to where, okay, this is uncomfortable and it's okay. I'm going to allow this to flow. And what is this telling me? What is this showing me? Right. So when you were in that space,
Mhm.
what did anything come through in terms of your own alignment?
Do you know one thing that did come up that was really interesting for me, Kim, and you've just reminded me of that so beautifully, was if when we take a look at the emotional scale, and I know you have a copy of this on your
Mhm.
website, so if you don't know what we're talking about, go to Kim's website because she's got a copy of it there. Do you know what I found out? That I was really quick to jump into the lower emotions when something wasn't working out for me, when I was experiencing that contrast. And so I would skip a whole pile of stuff and head right down to the
Wow.
bottom. So for me, what I noticed and what was beneficial to me was to get into my anger. Really. And because
That's
otherwise,
awesome.
yeah, I would drop into helplessness, hopelessness, depression. And I think because we're taught that anger is so wrong, especially as women, it goes back
Hmm.
to the conversation you were having the other day about being the nice girl, so that's what I really noticed. And I thought, hold on a minute, I'm skipping out this whole portion of emotions that I'm allowed to experience and that I'm allowed to have as part of my human experience. I'm getting chills.
That's so
Um,
awesome, Kara. Like you're speaking total empowerment. Like just the way you phrase that. Oh my
yeah,
goodness, I'm skipping all these emotions that I'm allowed.
yeah,
Like I'm allowed. There's so much right in that. If someone right now is with us and they're thinking like, no, I'm not allowed, or maybe they're just now realizing, oh my goodness, I somehow adopted the belief that I'm not allowed to feel something, then here's a fantastic opportunity to right now just claim it and say, I'm allowed. Like
yes,
there's so much relief in that. I love that you brought that up.
exactly. And do you know what else I got into?
What?
Rage journaling.
Oh.
So like I'd be like this. Because okay, so we've got anger, okay, and it's
Uh-huh.
great to feel it, but we maybe don't want to like project that out onto like our husband or our kids or our neighbor or whoever, our coworkers. So like for me, like rage journaling was really kind of fun because you can just put it all out there on the page and you can shout on the page and swear on the page and curse on the page, do whatever you need to do on the page, and you can it's amazing how it can transform and lift you. It really can. But yes, allow for the anger.
Oh, that is so, so good. Okay, so as you can see, we're like moving right along in today's show. Um, okay, so Kara, I know that you channel dolphins and
Yes.
you checked in with them prior to today's show. And is there anything you wanted to share from them with our audience today?
Yeah, I do. I have a little bit of a message. If you don't mind me reading it out. Now,
Yeah.
what I'm going to suggest, if you don't mind, is that if anyone is able to, you may want to just like close your eyes for a moment and just kind of take time to kind of really feel into the words. But obviously, don't do that if you're like driving a truck or whatever.
Good cautionary message. I like that. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just read out what they said. Okay.
Okay.
So the Dolphins said, we revel in our emotions and we choose to experience the emotions of fun, for there is a choice that exists in each and every one of you. For those that are currently experiencing the lower emotions, we wish for you to see the totality of who you really are, the magnificence that you hold, and the bright light that shines within you and upon you. Use us as your guides to soothe you, and always allow us to combine with you in sacred union so that you may feel our love. And our love is mighty and our love is pure. Emotions are a catalyst for change, and emotions are a vibrant energy. Emotions are a place not to dwell, but to move through. Emotions are what you seek in this lifetime to experience. Emotions work for you with the construct of time, as it takes time for you to move through them in your linear experience. Time is also something that's felt in your physical body, and you can use us, the dolphins, to help speed up or slow down time. Emotions are not this bad thing that they are made out to be. They can be an internal dial that guides you to your truth and to your resonance. And that was it. So that was what they had to say.
I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
for connecting with them and asking them specifically about emotions. That was very, very helpful. I think two things that stood out most for me. I just love the whole aspect, of course, again about not dwelling. Therefore, I think you said they're for feeling, not dwelling, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is I love how I found it interesting when they brought up the concept of time.
Yes. Yeah.
There's just something about that. What comes up? I mean, did anything come up for you when you kind of reflected on that?
Yeah,
Or
I think that they were kind of certainly trying to show me and tell me that we can use this idea of time and expanding or contracting time, because it's all energy. So it's all energy work. We can manipulate it because we are these magicians of how we create our reality. And so I think they were kind of trying to get me to understand that they can help us, perhaps rejoice and enjoy the great emotions for longer periods of time.
nice.
And then also, when it comes to some of the lower emotions, we can actually get them on board to assist us in speeding up the time. But I also get the sense that it's not about trying to get rid of it quickly. I think it's about, there still needs to be an allowance and an acceptance. And I think once you've done that, I think then, you know, the time aspect could come in. But I thought it was really interesting that they talked about that, and about how we can actually feel time within our own bodies. So very interesting.
That is very
More to
interesting.
explore.
Right, definitely. For those who are with us, did anything stand out for you when Kara was reading that? Let's take a quick look at the comments here. I think this was a while back, but Sherry is saying totally resonates with me, Kara. And Monique is with us. So many awesome comments, y'all. Yeah, and Paula's going back to the rage, saying you can burn that rage page in the full moon light. I was coming up with that one too. Okay, so many awesome comments. So oh, here, this is so good. Let me go ahead and share with you a little bit of some images that we have for Kara. So first off, just a quick reminder for everyone that Kara does share a lot more information inside her group, and I want to share this image is the banner for Kara's Dolphin Messenger group. And so definitely connect with her where you see that image. But then there's another image that Kara shared with us. And let me grab that one. Kara, tell us about this image.
I feel like this says it all for me, Kim. That we are so loved and we are so supported, and that there's so much more going on energetically than what we could ever dream of, you know. But it just makes me feel like I'm part of something that is so special. And that I'm surrounded by friends, really. So I love that.
I love that. Well, and you mentioned earlier too how in addition to the dolphins, you also, I think you phrased it as beings of light. Is that what you
Yes,
also? Okay.
that's right. Yes. There's a particular being of light that I do channel. It's they're known to me as Eli, and it's kind of a collective group, a collective consciousness of extremely high beings of light. So, and I love to channel them as well.
Wonderful. Well, that's what shows up for me when I look at this image is I think of those beings of light and of course how we are all extensions of that. But it's awesome that you can be here as a messenger and a connection for all of that as part of that as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so Kara, when I asked you what's an empowering quote that you would like to share with us, Kara said, it's a Rumi quote, I am not this hair, I am not this skin, I am the soul that lives within. Would you like to say something about that quote, Kara?
I think again, like the image, Kim, it just says everything, doesn't it? And who doesn't love a bit of Rumi? I mean, come on.
I know,
Like,
right?
like hello. But it really does. It says everything, and yeah, it's always been one that's stuck with me. So it was the obvious choice when you asked me to share a quote.
Well, to me, it just brings up to how we're so much more than the physical body. You know, this is just one evolution or one manifestation of us in energetic form, right? And in physical
Exactly.
form. And yeah, it's just a reminder that we're more than that. And Kara, you also said, so I asked Kara, I said, what is your 2020 vision? And she said, my 2020 vision for me personally was and still is all about connection to our truth, to our higher selves, and to the many light beings that are here to assist us at this time. I'm going to pop that image back up on the screen. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Kara, what does that image feel like for you? Where's that image? And yes, I hear your dog.
Oh, can you hear him? I'm so sorry.
No, it's so sweet. Do
He's
you want
literally down there.
to,
Yeah.
for our audience today, Kara tell them everyone about your dog.
Oh, okay. So I have Coco. He's a French bulldog, and he's very noisy snorer, and he's always snoring in the back of my videos, and he also trumps a lot as well. So he's extremely smelly.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Well,
Okay.
we just wanted to give him a little shout out on screen since he's,
Coco.
chiming in. Okay.
He's with us too.
He's with us too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Kara, so we are nearing the end of today's conversation. We still have a couple extra components we're going to throw in here, but are there any thoughts you would like to leave our audience with when it comes to the power of emotions and how they support you in moving towards a vision, a goal, a dream?
Well, I do have something that I would like to kind of leave everyone with, but I don't know if it's necessarily relating to emotions, but it's certainly about creating vision. Would that be okay if I just...
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so a good friend of mine recently, she asked me, and so I want to put this out to the audience and to you, Kim, if you had 1 minute to appear on a world stage and you only had 1 minute to talk and all eyes of the world were on you, what would your message be? And that is your vision, and that is your why, and that is your purpose work. And that is why you're here. And I think if we can all take a moment to connect with what our answer would be and then go do it and go be it and embody it and live it and just, inspire people with it. And so that's my little advice for creating your vision in 2020 and beyond.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And for those who are with us also, who are maybe in this space of just starting to go deeper with their emotions and understand that they're more than just something you feel, more than something that feels heavy and unpleasant. Again, I would say go back to listening to the beginning of today's conversation with Kara, because she shared her experience of moving from a dark place into much more expansive, lighter space. And I want to say that that's a beautiful starting place to be in, because there's so much more to come. That those dark places are so ripe with information and just like this explosion of who you are blossoming into. And I know that's hard to understand and see it at the moment, but if it helps to just hear it in this moment I can totally relate. I've had similar experiences myself. So to hear it from few people who can say, it's okay, that is just a moment in time, and move through that. Allow yourself to feel those emotions and they start to shift more quickly. And I even just want to add, because, we have those moments where, okay, good, I moved through that. I'm feeling all great. And then something happens in life that kind of takes us back into that place. It's okay. Practice again. Practice however many times you need to. And more it becomes easier and easier, and you go into that space less and less. And, so go back to what the Dolphins were saying about allowing us to feel lighter more frequently and all of that. So,
Absolutely.
Okay. Love it. Love it. So, okay, Kara, will you help me share a couple of cards with the audience today?
Yay! Love it.
So let's start with, I'm going to pull a self-care card. And so let's see here. I'm just going to do some light shuffling. And Kara, when you are ready, go ahead and tell me when to stop, and I'll pull the card that's right on top.
Okay.
Okay, we got one already.
Now.
Okay. So the one that was on top when Kara said now is peace. And the back of it says, embrace your confusion. Let there be peace in not knowing all the answers. That's, to me, speaks right to what we were just saying.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel not okay, essentially. The other one that came out is, and I'm thinking of someone in our audience today, dance.
Yay! That's a perfect card.
I know, right? The back of it says, step into the light. Share your gifts and talents with the world.
Yes. What were we just saying about vision?
Yep.
Yeah, just incredible. Well done, Kim.
Yeah, well done, Kara. Well done, Kara. Kara, so I'm going to actually close. I didn't ask you this before we went live, but you know the question I'm going to ask you next is, Kara, would you be open to making up a random song with the word emotions in it or something of that sort for us today?
Live for one night only. No, it's not happening.
She faked us out.
No, I'm so sorry, Kim. I can't sing. And do you know, I'm so sorry because I'm rambling on.
Step into the light, girl. Share your gifts and talents with the world. I'm kidding. It's okay.
Do you know though? It's so interesting though because when you brought that up with me in your email, it's kind of like, oh wow, you know, that I couldn't do that because the kind of the shame rises up and you're like, oh wow, why wouldn't I feel okay with singing a song? It's interesting what it brings up in you. But no, I'm not singing.
It's okay.
I do have a pretty poem.
Oh, I would love that if you'd like to share it.
Okay. Now, this poem isn't written by me. I channeled it, okay? So if it's awful, we'll blame the Dolphins, okay?
Okay.
So just so you all know. Okay. So I've called this a poem for Kim.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
It's not really about you.
Oh, okay, Karen, go ahead.
Okay. So, let us shift through the breeze together, united. Let us stand at the abyss in wonder. Let us shower ourselves in divine love, true blessings for all. Make each moment count. A kiss, a smile, a vision, a 2020 vision. There we go.
Oh, that was fantastic. I love it. Well, Kara, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And so for those who would like to experience one of Kara's live channelings, we are doing another one on October 8th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and 6 p.m. British Standard Time, right? Yeah, I remember. Thank you. And I'm going to post the link to that in the comments. It is a Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom recording. All those who register will receive the replay, but we'd love to have you there with us live. You can send in your questions ahead of time. I'm going to act as a moderator to share the questions so we can get as many people's questions answered. And here's the thing. So while we've been live oh, thank goodness, my bad. Okay, my mouse is moving again. Okay, so let me see. Let me share that right now. I was about to have to tell everyone my mouse battery died, but it didn't. Okay, there we go. Posted that in the comments just now. And so if you'd like to attend that, then definitely register. That's coming up in a few weeks. We'd love to see you there. And Kara, do you want to just remind everyone where to go to connect with you after today's show?
Yes, so if you would like to hear more from me, then please join the Dolphin Messenger group. It's on Facebook. You'll find it. If you just search for the Dolphin Messenger, you'll find me there. Okay?
Awesome. Well, it was wonderful having you here today, Kara.
Thank you.
Thank you for my poem. That's not about me, but thank you.
I will frame it for you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who was with us today, whether you're live on the replay. Remember, every day is always a new day. I hope that you are allowing yourself to feel and move through whatever emotions coming up for you these days. There's nothing wrong to be feeling whatever you're feeling, and it absolutely is in service to you to feel, because there's something more there. So you have my support and encouragement in that, and allow that to help uplift you and rise and shine. And if it's easier to jump to the anger, go for it. I love that you mentioned that, Kara. Yeah, the rage journaling, right? And because that's an empowering emotion. So with that said, that's our show for today. We will be back again on Thursday for another Rise and Shine, creating 2020 vision, talking about emotions and moving forward all together. And I hope you have an amazing day. Stay right there, Kara, and I'll see you all again very soon.